it's like a big family, I guess. Like, there's people you haven't seen in 20 years, and when you catch up with them, it's like it was only yesterday that you bumped into them. I guess the Black Hawk incident was, still is, the biggest peacetime fatality that the Australian Defence Forces had. I think there was 5 blokes from the battalion at the time that were killed in that crash. I knew a couple of the blokes from 5 Aviation, and a young bloke that I grew up with playing footy against in Tasmania. We ended up being in 2-4 together. He ended up being on the Black Hawk, and he was one of the survivors. Rob had come up with the concept of the Black Hawk and the stars in the ground with the berets on top, which was from the commemoration of it. I guess I had a bit of a health scare. Got diagnosed with cancer, and they told me I had like 10% chance of living till Christmas. And so I thought, well, I guess we don't have like family crests in Australia, but to me the Skippy badge was probably the closest thing. And I thought, well, if I'm going to be buried, I'm going to go with a Skippy badge on my heart. So I got it done while I was under treatment. I guess the military was my family. And I think there's a lot of people that are and serving now that have got the Skippy badge or ADF or whatever corps they were in. It's something I'm proud of, that I did spend 21 years in the army.
Join-up date was October 1980, and so I was 19. You're doing things that you've never ever done before in your life. So as I said, it's just a huge learning curve, and it just changes who you are. You become a different person. Total man's world, and you either sank or swam. So I learnt to give back as much as I could. It's brought out my personality, I suppose. I think I said earlier, I was quite shy. I was a very, very shy child. It took a lot of courage for me, even just to walk into the recruitment office. But joining the Defence Forces, you've got no choice, because you were always going to be going somewhere where you don't know someone or don't know people. So you have to put yourself out there. That's where Defence Forces have helped me. I'm not a pushover anymore. It's the friendships that you make, it's the camaraderie that you have with all these people. So for me, it, yes, represents my naval career, but the flowers represent the fact that I was a female in a man's world. So, yeah, a lot of people get the anchor, civilian people get the anchor, because it means they're stable, they're not going anywhere. Whereas for me, it represents my life, what helped shape me, and what I've been through. So a female in a man's world. I would do it all over again, in a heartbeat.
I wanted a story. So when people do ask, because they do get interested, I wanted to be able to give them a story of what I've done and places I've been and stuff like that. As you mean, it's a reminder every day. So you don't need to look through photos. You can just look at your arm and be like, I remember that. We got A for Alpha Company 2RAR, and the death card is just, it was not only for the 4 IEDs that I hit, it was just the luck of everyone. We had a ridiculous amount of luck. We had guys tripping tripwires, IED didn't go off. We had guys getting tripwires caught around their legs, nothing happened. We had guys stand on IEDs, nothing happened because the compound was too wet. Multiple times that happened. We had multiple vehicles that got completely destroyed, and people survived. Soldiers Cross, and again I wanted it a bit more Sailor Jerry, so I gave him my tattoo was the photo of a Steyr, a helmet, and just a pair of boots. The gun, the helmet, not the right size, so I saw that sort of cartoonish way again. And then I've got Afghanistan over the top of it. And it's just, again, one of those traditional tattoos that I think a lot of guys get just to remember the guys that have fallen on their trip or family members. So I think that was my first one I wanted to get. A lot of army guys actually go into tattooing. I think it's just the art side of it. It's very calming, I guess. And I found that with a lot of guys that come back from overseas, their whole demeanour changes. I think you're a bit more humble, you appreciate everything a lot more. But then again, you will go there in a heartbeat to go do it again. So an actual photo of one of the snipers took, or the Bushmaster coming through one of the checkpoints, and the hills and everything, the sun was going down, and the hills were like you could just see everything. It's a really nice photo, and I just said, again, Mirabad Valley. That was what it was. It was beautiful, but it was at the same time. And I thought, what better way to get it than get it on my arm, and that way I can explain. Everyone's like, what's Mirabad Valley? I can tell them what it is.
A faded poppy is for the 800,000 people that died, so it's the blood run out of the poppy, so it's quite significant. We didn't plan for it to go that way. It was just Johnny, my tattooist, the way it happened. He said, that hasn't worked properly. I said, I love it. I said, someone asked me about the faded side, and that's what I said. 800,000 people were brutally murdered. So that's for them. Obviously the Australian flag, Rwandan flag. Miriango is Kinyarwandan for family, so they will always be family. And then Unimere 2 for in Rwanda, and then the dates that I was there. So August 94 to Feb 95. So in some ways it says Rwanda, but United Nations Assistant Mission in Rwanda, the second one, and then Rwanda. So I've had Rwanda in my head and my heart since being there. Now it's on my sleeve so other people can see it. And then the other one. So the tattoo didn't go to plan because I got chicken wings. Fighting kangaroo, synonymous with Australians. Wearing the slouch hat. We couldn't fit the detail on the slouch hat that I wanted, because I wanted to put the truckie badge on there as well. But we've got on there what we could. So 652, the kangaroo's got his own tattoo, and that's how many people served in Rwanda, how many Australians served there. Par honore is the truckie call motto, which means equal to the task in Latin. So we're all equal to the task. So there's 7 folds in the puggaree. So I said, you make sure there's 7 folds in the puggaree. If you get that wrong, someone will pick it up. And then obviously the spelling was a big one. Never want to get that wrong. So we researched Miriango a fair bit. It's one of the tattoos my daughter wants to get because it means family. So having my war service has touched the kids a great deal, and they're very proud of it.
Didn't watch the news, 19 years old, didn't watch the news, didn't care really, and all we wanted was deployment. We thought, we're smart, and all the atlases started coming out, where is this place? And you find out it's the Horn of Africa, and you go, holy hell, what's going on over there? For a 19-year-old guy who'd never seen a dead body in his life, and to drive off a ship and probably see, 30 to 40 dead bodies within the first, 20, 30 kilometres didn't get much sleep the first night we were there, put it that way. I think a lot of blokes carried that moral injury with them, what's now probably more known as PTSD, but back then we really didn't, it was still called shell shock and all that kind of stuff, and we never got shelled or bombed or anything, so we didn't know what was going on in our heads. It's hard to, you get pulled up as a big soldier, and to find out you need a cuddle every now and again, it kind of deflates your ego, but it's. I wanted it to be a reflection, not of bad stuff, but of the good that came out of it. You know what I mean? It's an open wound, and it always will be. And then I'm always going to bleed army. It'll always be a big part of my life. Like, massive part of my life, and that's what I wanted. I just wanted to be like someone just ripped the skin off, and that's what was underneath.
Just the people. Never had a dollar between them, sort of thing, because of the crisis with the copper mine. But always laughing, you know, like the kids just always got you, like they'd climb up your water tanker and I was up on top watching the water pods fill up and the truck started up and there's a little kid about this big was sitting in there, he'd worked out how to start the Mack truck and everything and he started the truck and I'm running down the side going, no, stop it. He's about this big just looking at me with his red mouth, you know, from the beetle nut. And he's just laughing at me. It's like, oh, hey, explain to the little kid about this big stole your truck. Got those, I guess, after I got out. It was sort of just to make myself feel a bit better and, you know, and hoping people would ask you what you did when you're sitting at a bar or, you know, something. They noticed that there were dog tags and just to talk, I guess, you know, because I didn't have anything and all my mates still in the army and I was just pretty much left by myself. Yeah, I hope someone to say, oh, were you in the army sort of thing and start a conversation and just to remind me, you know, all the good times that I did have and the not so good times as well, I suppose. I don't think you can, once you've done it, you can never stop being army to some degree. Yeah, I am pretty proud of it, yeah.
I think for me, I don't take for granted what I've got. I appreciate those around me, my friends and family. It's probably the hardest thing for me was when I left the army, was leaving a lot of the mates that I'm very passionate about my military service. You know, I always, when I talk to blokes I haven't seen for a while or I see them, it's just like yesterday. It's still hard to explain to some people too about Somalia. And it's hard to compare too, because you can never compare one deployment to another or one person's service to another person's service. You know, there's a lot of people that don't understand about Somalia, particularly out in the community, as much as they know about Vietnam and Afghanistan and Iraq. It's the same as Rwanda. Rwanda is something that a lot of people don't fully understand. But yeah, that's the thing I find with Somalia. It's probably the main one I do hang my hat on and am very, very proud of, because it was my first deployment and we were so successful over there, particularly in our area of operations. We were very successful with something that we'd never ever been trained for before.
If we stuffed up and the aircraft went down, it came back to us, and that was always in the back of your mind. Rifle, like we had the SLR that I initially did my training with, then they brought in the Styres, and then we had the Airfield Defence Guards, which their primary role was to defend the airfield. So what, we got a different colour uniform. We're all there for the same purpose. That was it. I joined at 17. I bleed blue because I'm, you know, Air Force sort of thing, not New South Wales support, of course, even though I'm a Victorian. But it's something that's close to my heart, and like the poppy one, it's not just for my service. It was a memorial for all those that are still serving, those that aren't serving, and those that aren't here anymore. So, as I said, I'm Air Force, but I work with the Army. I know a lot of Navy guys, so rather than just have the one service emblem, I decided to get the ADF emblem to cover all services. It's a mark of respect for all services.